Hey everyone, welcome to Discover the Beast Coaching Podcast. As you know, part of our program is to introduce you to other coaches. I am not the only coach, and my style is not for everyone. So my goal is to bring out other coaches, other men and women who are passionate about coaching as I am, and I want you to meet them. Today, I have Kimberly Gallagher. And Kim is a life coach. She's a spiritual coach. And without further ado, welcome to the podcast, Kimberly.
Thanks, Charles. Thanks for having me today.
Well, thank you for taking a few minutes out your schedule for us. So, before we go any further, what put you on the path to coaching?
I experienced coaching for myself a few years ago. I sort of explored spiritual direction, and I was trying to figure out. I already had a therapist at that point, and I thought I was trying to figure out where's God leading me to help other people. And so, after spiritual direction, I had a friend who is a coach, and she actually works on staff at the program that I ended up attending. And once I got through coaching sessions with her, I thought this is it. This is exactly what I feel I can offer, to other women to help. And that's sort of how my coaching journey started.
Oh, okay. So now, which area do you have an area of passion? Is there one area of coaching? Coaching is so large. Is there one area or two that just get you excited?
Yeah, so I offer both life coaching and spiritual growth coaching, and specifically for women. I love to help women succeed, just based on the growth and development that I've experienced in my own life. And I know that for as far as I've come, if I can do it, anybody can. And so I just love to see women succeed.
Okay, so now you mentioned life coaching and then spiritual growth.
Right.
Okay, can you give us an idea of is there I'm assuming there's a subtle difference.
Yeah. So exactly. In terms of spiritual growth coaching, that's if someone wants to go deeper in their journey with God. So, how can I create space for God in my life? How can I really hear God's voice and understand what He wants me to do? And if I'm following Him, and I think there's a next step. What does that look like? And I've actually developed a 4-step process for stepping out of the boat. The boat is our comfort zone that we operate in, but that doesn't mean it's comfortable. It just means it's familiar to us. And whenever we're making a decision or we want to go deeper in our relationship with God, I believe there are 4 steps. And step one is to stand up in our boat and recognize that God really is speaking to us, because He's speaking to each one of us in a variety of ways every single part of the day. Once we've heard that voice from God and we know that He's speaking to us, then the second step is to stand up in our boat and say, "Okay, I'm going to stand up now. I feel that you're calling me. You're asking me to do something. You're speaking knowledge to me. You're inviting me on a journey. So I'm going to stand up and I'm listening." And then once we've heard for the voice of God and we are standing up and we're willing to take the next step, then the third step is to step out of the boat and actually start walking in that journey, whether it's just spending more time with God, whether it's being called to a mission, or maybe He's asking us to change a job or to serve in a different capacity. And so that's step out. um, and so let's see, we have stand up, step out, start walking, and walking and living our mission. And then the last step is storm, because whenever we are doing what God wants us to do, and we're in sync and we're just cruising along, and the next thing you know, a storm happens. And so storm is part of the process. And then at that point, we retreat, we take a step back, we spend more time with them. Sometimes the best thing is to not actually take action immediately, but to take a step back. And then the whole process starts over again. We're ready to stand up, or excuse me, yeah, we're ready to stand up, hear God's voice, and start the whole process over.
Okay, so now when you transition over to more of a life coaching, where's the difference there?
Yeah, so in terms of life coaching, not everyone's looking for spiritual growth coaching. Some people are just trying to, speak up in a meeting at work, or go for a job promotion, or clean out a closet, or, hundreds of little tasks that we try to accomplish on a daily basis. And that's where life coaching comes in. And that's where I can be helpful, and just helping somebody unpack, what is it that you want to work on, today? What is the goal that you're trying to achieve? What is the next step for you? And then just to be able to unpack that and help her achieve actionable steps.
So the spiritual growth is specifically your relationship with God
Exactly.
and preparing for your steps with God and
Hmm.
walking on that path.
Yes.
Life coaching is taking that path, maybe together, maybe separate,
Right.
but dealing with the inners of you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's the beauty of life coaching, because usually whatever the person thinks they need to do on the surface, like, hey, it's just that I need to clean out the closet, or it's just that I'm trying to accomplish this task at work. It's what's underneath all of that that's stopping the person from accomplishing those tasks, that courageous awareness, that's the stuff that really makes the difference when you can start unpacking that.
Um, how long have you been coaching, by the way?
About a year now, actually.
Oh, okay, great, great, great. So have you had any rewarding experience, any of those aha moments that we all strive to
Yeah.
get?
You know, I think the most rewarding thing for me, one aspect has been to coach globally. I've had the opportunity to coach women in several different countries, and I love that. It's so wonderful when we can get outside of our box, the comfort of our everyday American life, and have a global experience, because we're all the same. As women, we're all the same the world over, even though we have different social codes, different cultural backgrounds. But at the end of the day, we all have the negative self-talk. We all have that desire to do better, to be better, to be more, to succeed. And it's really a joy to have those experiences. That's been a true joy for me over this past year.
Great. It seems like society is always focusing on our differences, yet as individuals, if we spend 10 minutes together, we seem to find more similarities than we do differences. At least that's my little soapbox.
Absolutely. I would 100% agree with you on that. And I find that not only am I able to help somebody through the coaching process, but I'm inspired. I'm the one that walks away with the gift, at the end of the conversation, because when I see, this fantastic woman on the other side of the screen having this aha moment, coming to this emotional awareness, willing to take these next steps, you know, I'm like astounded, because everyone is so courageous, so brave, so full of talent. I think that we are, we're created to be creative, to be brilliant, to think and problem solve, and we've all been, given gifts and abilities. And I love when I get to point that out in someone, and then at the end of the conversation, I walk away feeling inspired by what
Absolutely.
I've just heard from the other person. So
Absolutely. Now I was snooping around your website a little bit. Okay. And I noticed, and I'm going to pull it back up. One of your pages is called Coaching for Courageous Women of Faith.
yes.
Enlighten me.
Ah, so yeah, actually, and I'm going to be making some more web changes now that you've had a chance to take a look at everything. But yeah, I do coach courageous women, and I believe that in order you to move ahead in life, you have to have faith, right? Yeah, I mean, either you have faith in God, faith in a higher power, you have faith in yourself and your ability to do things. So I coach courageous women who have faith, to believe that they can accomplish that next step, and faith, and that are motivated to do it.
So, what's the difference between them and the creative women of faith?
There's just
I did
aha.
know, didn't I?
Exactly, exactly. So I have an arts background. I've always been an arts girl, and I love the whole creative process. And so that's just another unique area that I can coach in, are women who are also creative in the traditional sense of, creating art, or perhaps they're involved in performance art, that whole process of obtaining a new project, whether it be, you have to bid for a project or you need to audition for a project, and that whole audition process and what does that look like. So it is another element of coaching that I offer as a creative.
I'm impressed. Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay. So now I did my little nosiness. So what else have I missed that
Oh,
you want my audience to know about you?
I believe, I know I think it's hard for some people to believe like that I'm excited about you on the other side of the screen. I'm excited about what you're able to accomplish. I want to help you get there, whether you're creative, whether you don't realize you're creative, whether there's a project you can't get to that you just need to unpack what's really stopping you.
Oh yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I just love the journey. I love the opportunity to journey with you and help you and celebrate. We don't celebrate our accomplishments because we're too busy worrying about the next thing that has to get done. And I love pointing that out. It's just a wonderful thing. I love to celebrate. So,
Man, that's absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Well, let me ask you this. What could someone expect when they reach out to you and they're asking for coaching, or they're not sure? Can you walk me through what a woman in my audience will experience in the process of working with you?
absolutely. So after the initial message or email or phone call, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to jump on a little 15-minute Zoom call, just like this one. And all the coaching I do is really over Zoom. And so we're just going to have a little meet and greet and get to know one another. And, it's her opportunity to ask me all kinds of questions that she might have about coaching, or, how the process looks. And just to see, so we get to meet each other and be familiar. And then going forward in the coaching process, we'll again set up our sessions on Zoom just like this. And I don't provide advice. Coaching is not consulting. So I look forward to her presenting the topic. And then I'm going to ask questions, just like you're asking me questions in this interview today. So I'm going to ask questions and help her unpack whatever that topic is and help her. She's going to come to her own action steps. And if I see one or I hear one, I'm going to point it out and say, "Oh, do I hear you giving yourself an action step here?" And so she'll have something that she wants to work on between, the first session or the third session and the fourth session. And then when we get back together, I'll check in and I'll say, "Hey, how's it going? What's happening?" And so we'll have a conversation just like this one. And I'll point out all the little things that she's not noticing, and tell her how amazing she is, because she is. And if I have an observation to make, I'll say, "Hey, can I make an observation?" And I'll throw something out there. Just see how it lands. Maybe it'll be helpful and maybe it'll be something she wants to incorporate. But I don't give like a program of advice.
What would be the one area of coaching that you have found that has benefited you personally the most?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think definitely for me, the emotional awareness piece, because you know how it is. You see someone on TV, on a talk show, or you see somebody on a podcast or a video, and just by virtue of the format that you're watching this person in, this person looks like they have it all together, like they have all the answers. They are just, it's all perfect. And it is so not true at all. And I think that for all of us, whether we're stepping out to launch a business, stepping out to coach someone, stepping out to do whatever it is, I mean, we all require confidence, We all require the unpacking of our own emotional baggage and negative self-talk in order to be able to step out and help someone else. So I think that, through coaching for myself, it's helped me to be, better as a leader, better as an entrepreneur, better as a mom, better in all areas of my life, just to be able to, through that coaching experience. So I think
Now,
that's what you're asking me.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go with somewhere else here.
All
Okay,
right.
has coaching uh, given you more insight on being a mom, being a wife, uh, and any other relationship that you have in your personal life?
Yeah, I think that because, through coach training, we're naturally taught to actively listen in a way that we don't necessarily in everyday life. And so that of course gives you the ability to ask better questions, right? So I've noticed that coming up with my kids when there've been, just in everyday situations that occur, I feel as a mom, I think I always ask questions to some extent,
Yeah,
but I think coaching adds another level to help, I mean, my family knows I coach, obviously, so I, can only get away with so much. But I think it does help me, parent better. And I think that it helps our, the relationship with my husband. Because he's not going to necessarily ask questions and me to unpack a situation, but I'm going to be better at tracking a situation and asking better questions, I think. Might be
yeah.
biased.
Well, Kim, listen, I thank you so much for your time today. Now, before I close this part of the interview, please tell us how to reach you.
Oh, definitely. Well, you can go to stepforwardtoday.com
Okay.
and there's a little form on there. You can reach me there. You can also email me at kimberly@stepforwardtoday.com. And you can also call me. Feel free to reach out 216-410-6017. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn.
Okay. Well, fantastic. I love that. Step forward.
Thank you.
I love that. Well, Kim, again, thank you so much for taking a few minutes with us today. And I probably will call you back one day now. Would
I
you be
would
willing?
I would love that. It's been so much fun. Thank you, Charles.
Fantastic. Well, listen, you have a fantastic day, and I look forward to speaking with you again.
That sounds great. Have a wonderful day, Charles. Thank you.
Thank you.